There was a freaking earthquake in Tribeca. The entire building just moved, not just ours. Everyone's outside.
Near New York, an earthquake occurred. For the northeast of the USA, this is rare. But for New Jersey, the tremors became the strongest in 240 years. There is no information about damage and casualties, but the earthquake interrupted a United Nations meeting. Additionally, 2 airports temporarily halted operations. Local residents likened the tremors to roller coasters under their homes and tanks passing through the streets. The magnitude of the earthquake, according to initial estimates, was 4.8, with the epicenter located 1 kilometer deep near White House Station, New Jersey, adjacent to New York. According to the American scale, the intensity of the earthquake reached level 6, assigning it a yellow danger level.
What's happening?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, but what happened?
In the well, it's a $1 million home. They found out that the company What is that? Is that an earthquake? That's what it's written like. Wow. Wow. That's the biggest one.
As a result of the earthquake, buildings trembled from Maryland to Maine on the northeast coast of the USA, affecting the entire Northeast from Philadelphia to New Jersey, from New York to Connecticut. Strong seismic activity is rare in this region. For New Jersey, this is the strongest earthquake in 240 years. New York City's Commissioner for Emergency Situations, Zachary Iskola, stated that the likelihood of aftershocks is low but urged vigilance. New Yorkers are not accustomed to earthquakes. Everyone should continue to take this seriously, urged New York State Governor Katie Hochul. The U.S. Geological Survey considers the likelihood of casualties or damage from the earthquake to be unlikely. Preliminary reports do not indicate a serious threat to life or infrastructure from the earthquake. We are carefully checking critical areas, wrote New York City Mayor Eric Adams. The United Nations Security Council meeting was briefly interrupted due to the earthquake. It was held at the organization's headquarters in New York City. Video from the chamber shows that the earthquake began during a speech by the director of the organization, Save the Children, Janti Soropto. Recordings from the chamber show significant shaking. Initially, Soropto tried to calmly continue the briefing, but then stopped. The United Nations Secretary General's official spokesperson, Stefan Dujarric, later reported that the earthquake did not disrupt the headquarters operations. However, he noted that some people in the building were frightened by the earthquake. Some colleagues were already prepared to run out of the chamber when the tremors stopped. U.S. President Joe Biden was briefed on the earthquake, according to the White House press secretary. She said Biden is in touch with his team, tracking the potential consequences of the earthquake. There were no power outages, disruptions to New York City's subway or other transportation systems due to the earthquake. 2 New York City airports temporarily ceased operations. Governor Katie Hochul clarified that they did not sustain damage. More than 280 flights are delayed due to the earthquake. The Statue of Liberty was unharmed, as was the famous 102-story Empire State Building. The building's account reassured followers, with a post stating that the building is fine, written in large letters. City authorities also inspected all 7 New York City bridges, which were undamaged. New York authorities sent warnings to residents asking them to stay home if possible. There was a phone alert. They vibrated and beeped loudly. They said to prepare, a small earthquake is expected. There's no need to worry, just tremors and the building you're in will shake. It is clarified that there was no evacuation announced in the city. Despite warnings of possible aftershocks, many continue with their business. There is no panic. The situation is calm. The tremors were felt not only in New York City, but also several hours' drive away from the city. A hospital employee on Coney Island, Brooklyn, said that because of the tremors, everyone's head spun, and everyone fell to the floor from shock and fear. She noted that everything began to shake abruptly. I felt as if there were roller coasters under my house, traveling at 1,000 miles per hour. At first, I thought the pipes under my house had exploded. I was sitting in my living room and saw the walls shaking. It was like a wave, shared a Brooklyn resident. Another resident recalls that in her apartment on the 8th floor, the earthquake felt as though a subway train was passing under the couch. In Taiwan, efforts continue to be made to mitigate the aftermath of the catastrophic earthquake. Rescuers are searching for survivors among the landslides and underground tremors. Authorities are trying to reach over 100 people who found themselves cut off from the world as a result of the earthquake, which has claimed at least 9 lives and left around 1,000 injured. Search operations in the area of the hardest-hit city of Hualien on the eastern coast have been hampered by over 50 underground tremors recorded since the earthquake on Wednesday morning, reported Taiwan's Central Meteorological Bureau. It is estimated that around 80 people are trapped in mining areas. Dramatic footage released on Thursday by the island's Central Emergency Operations Center shows a helicopter making 2 trips to rescue 6 miners trapped in a gypsum quarry in Hualien County, near the earthquake's epicenter. Rescuers have also learned of the whereabouts of dozens more people trapped in a network of sturdy tunnels in the district, typical of roads cut into scenic mountains and cliffs leading to the city of Hualien from the north and west. About 50 hotel workers are believed to be stranded in Taroko National Park after their convoy of 4 minibuses became trapped on a mountain road due to a landslide. According to local media reports, signals from mobile phones indicate that they may have taken refuge in the system of caves in the Chue system, and rescue teams are now attempting to clear the road to reach them. Local media reported that 4 of the deceased, 3 tourists and 1 driver, died in the park as a result of landslides. It took firefighters in Hualien 13 hours to extinguish a chemical fire in a university laboratory that broke out after the earthquake. Taiwan is still assessing the consequences of the earthquake, which, according to the Earthquake Monitoring Agency, measured 7.2 in magnitude, 7.4 according to the U.S., and 7.7 according to Japan. This is the strongest earthquake in Taiwan since 1999, when a magnitude 7.6 earthquake 93 miles south of Taipei claimed the lives of 2,400 people and injured 10,000. As darkness fell on Wednesday, hundreds of people spent the night in tents and other shelters. Meanwhile, dozens of rescuers attempted to reinforce damaged buildings and demolish those deemed impossible to save. On Wednesday, Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs criticized Beijing's offer of assistance in the event of natural disasters while continuing its long-standing campaign to send military aircraft and ships near Taiwan. In Hualien, the city's mayor stated that all residents and businesses in buildings deemed dangerous had been evacuated and that demolition work had begun on 4 buildings.
倒了，房子倒了，歪了，房子歪了，房子歪了。
The earthquake occurred at a depth of 15 kilometers as people were heading to work and school, prompting tsunami warnings in southern Japan and the Philippines, which were later lifted. Chinese state media reported that the earthquake was felt in the southeastern province of Fujian. Taiwan's Air Force said 6 F-16 fighters were slightly damaged at a major base in the city, from which aircraft are often scrambled to repel attacks, but it is expected that the planes will return to service very soon. Major chip supplier for Apple and Nvidia, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co., said it evacuated several manufacturing plants and that security systems were operating as usual. Nvidia stated that it does not expect supply disruptions due to the earthquake. The company later reported that its employees were safe and returned to work shortly after the earthquake. It is expected that affected businesses will resume production on Wednesday.